All
Well,
right.
we don't want to be missing the game.
We don't want to be missing the game. Oh, I love everything I'm seeing already, Zaf. Let's do this.
Well, let's get in here and let's let everybody take a
Let's
look.
let everybody have a look because this lineup is spicy. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Zaf. TSYMQ in green here at the top end of Land of Fire. Game 2, what do you got for me?
So we have Cassard. We were just talking about her with the torpedo build. A Z42 with its usual utility build. Stalingrad with reload. A Venezia with unique upgrade and range. Gee, I wonder where he's going to go.
I wonder.
A Prince Veneranier with reload. A Brennus with reload and top grade gunner. And a Burgon in your typical setup. Although he could have been using Honore for the buff turret traverse. Interesting. And the buffed adrenaline rush. Tell us about Bonks, sir.
Bonks also going for double destroyer, 4 cruiser, single battleship, but they've gone a very different direction. Double French here for the destroyers. That's Dyer's Marceau and battleship Nagato's Kleber in a much more traditional build. Not a unique Kleber, noteworthy there. Backed up by Disquarius Green's Puerto Rico, ship that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. That AP is no joke. And it looks as if they're going to get King Viper's Henri Quatre headed that way. That is also a unique upgrade Henri. And Incomparable Zaf, a ship that occasionally makes the odd appearance in King of the Sea or competitive events at this tier. First one of these we're seeing today.
I covered 2 replays of Incomparable yesterday.
Oh, she's so much fun. Double Hindenburg headed to Bzath unique upgrade Hindenburg of all things. So
and pack a punch.
Yeah, both of these running 60, basically bumping up against 60,000 HP, and they will be somewhat difficult to burn out and kill in the traditional manner that way, just because of that unique upgrade. So that's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. Now, something else worth noting, Zath, both of these teams taking very different tacks in terms of deployments. Look at this.
Heavy A for TSYMQ.
Heavy C.
And heavy C
for Bonks.
For Bonks. Commence toilet bowl.
Yep. As Zath likes to say, the toilet bowl action will be strong here. Both teams probably going to be operating very quickly in a counterclockwise fashion. With that said, it's going to be Bonks. It's going to move out to a slight points lead here early. 1-for-1's going to pick up the B cap. They've already grabbed a C. And then we're going to have to see how the redeployments begin.
Yep. I want to take a moment and talk about the unique upgrades that we're seeing here because we haven't for a bit. So we've got the unique upgrade for the Venezia, for example. That's in slot 5. So you lose out on the concealment. It has 5% instead of 10%. But you get an extra charge of smoke. Actually, 2, sorry. And the cooldown between smokes is reduced, so you can smoke more frequently with the Venezia that way. So it makes her nice as a real good kiting boat. A lot of times we see 2 Venezias working in tandem, so they can just constantly keep each other smoked up.
Hindenburg's unique upgrade does some very interesting things. It's essentially a giant buff to her damage control capability. She gets minus 50%. Main battery repairs. So if they knock out your turrets, they just repair faster. 40% faster, less fire duration. So she simply burns less. 70% flooding duration, minus 70% flooding duration. So she floods less. And then she gets better rudder shift. So it just makes her harder to kill for damage over time effects.
Right. But at the cost of concealment.
Yes.
Right? So,
because it goes into slot 5.
Right.
Now, what is Henri's? Henri is the other unique upgrade that we saw that we don't normally see.
So the Henri has, it's called Improved Main Battery Loading Mechanisms. And what this does is it increases the detection by 10%. So not only do you lose the concealment module, but you also add an additional 10% to detection, but you get main battery firing range 5% better and then 10% main battery reload. So where's our Henri with that? You can see he's got the reload module in slot 6 as well. So that's essentially a double buff to main battery reload at the expense of concealment.
So already, Bonks adapting to the push. They haven't seen it yet, but they know has to be coming. They're bringing the Kermit's Incomparable and Dyer's Marceau back. There's the Stalingrad radar is going to let them know the Hindenburg is sitting in the cap, and Dyer's Marceau is over there lurking, waiting for them. They have not yet seen Kermit's Incomparable. Go ahead.
Well, it's interesting, 1-for-1, of course, trying to be that trapdoor spider with the Hindenburg. Now he can't anymore.
Well, they had to suspect that someone was there, but now they know beyond a shadow of a doubt that info radar getting some good value.
Absolutely. So, of course, Prince Van Oranje with the Dutch oven does its thing.
Yep. Doesn't land anything, though.
It's still on TSYMQ to make a play happen, and because there's only 2 assets for TSYMQ at sea, I mean, they have no choice but to push through whatever trap BONKZ has set for them.
Pretty much. They have no other options here. They're not in a position to push C, and Desquarius' Rico is actually moved up into a pretty good position to contribute to damage as this Burgonia and Stalingrad are going to try to push across his line of fire here over on the 4 line.
Yep. Now, in competitive gaming, we typically say that to gain map control, you have to trade hit points. So TSYMQ is going to lose a lot of hit points in order to try to gain some board position, specifically the B cap.
Well, let's see how this works out for them. Some decent hits.
I'm thinking not well.
Well, it's very possible that this ends badly, but they're going to try it anyway. They don't, like you say, they've come all this way. They don't have much choice.
Nope. Look at Dyer and Panda. French on French action.
Panda getting slammed around here. Down to 4K. Still lit.
Yeah.
Dyer also under fire here.
Good hits, though.
Yep. Probably going to lose Dyer here, and they will.
Yeah.
Panda going to sneak away. That's going to cut into BONKZ's lead here as they're going to drive the Burgonia directly into the cap. But Burgonia is not a ship, in my opinion, that has good ability to just sit and hold, right? Like, she burns too easy. That deck is too easy to pen. Puerto Rico's got his flank. Desquarius is going to be able to continue putting shells on him.
Yeah, this is going to be an unfortunate situation for the Burgonia. The only thing they can hope for is proxy spotting 1-for-1 Gaming's Hindenburg. But
well, they've got that, but it's not getting them anywhere. And by the way, Dyer's last breath torpedoes coming in now.
Yep.
Is the Burgonia going to be able to dodge them all? I think he's going to take one of these right here, and he does.
Yep. Now, DCP's down for 20 seconds.
He's not flooding, but he is now back on fire again.
Yeah. 10 seconds for his heal. I don't think he's going to get it.
No. Yeah, he's going to burn out before his heal comes available. And that's going to end that. And just like that, BONKZ will be able to start ticking up the B cap again. I love the way BONKZ has played this with the Hindenburg, Zath. We traditionally haven't seen Hindenburg in these kinds of events in such a long time. But man, is they're getting great work out of her here.
Yeah, Hindenburgs are pretty darn tanky, especially at long range. One of my favorite boats to play. You just turn your brain off, farm at long range, and don't care what happens.
So, yes and no. Hindenburg is vulnerable to plunging battleship caliber AP fire at long range. But in an environment like this, where there's going to be only one or possibly even fewer battleships, Hindenburg can take a lot of punishment. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. BONKZ out to about a 200-point lead up on HP. I think they're going to lose Chukwama eventually as 1-for-1 starts taking Cassard torpedoes. He's moving up onto the Stalingrad flank with his AP and getting good work. Because Hindenburg
moving forward.
Hindenburg AP is so good.
Well, and you also have Desquarius' Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So Stalingrad is kind of stuck.
He's hosed. He can't turn. He can't do anything. The Hindenburg AP is going to finish him off here if the Puerto Rico AP doesn't, and it's the Hindenburg that's going to bag the kill.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Fuchao's Venezia taking some big hits from the Puerto Rico, and now dead.
Yep. Looking
Bonk's
really
coming
good
back
here.
in this game saying you took one game off of us and that's all you're getting.
Yep. They would probably argue that without the disconnect, they would have won the first game. We'll never know.
And that's very possible. Remember, there's what, 2 more rounds tomorrow?
2 more rounds of round robin tomorrow. So there'll be at least 2 more games just like this, 2 more best of 2s. Then there will be probably a break of some kind while we move before we move on to the playoff series, which at that point will shift to a best of 3 with ship bans and I think maybe even map bans. I got to check the rule set again, but I know there's ship bans that kick in at the playoffs.
Right. So the point I'm trying to make is for both teams, they're not done yet, of course. There's still chances to get points for TSYMQ. For them, very important, right? Because they're in 4th place. BONKZ is in 1st place. They can afford to lose a few games here and there. It's okay. They're still guaranteed, most likely, to make it to the playoffs. But obviously, you'd rather start in the winners bracket than the losers. Yeah, when 21 hit, never mind.
Never mind. MVP of this match absolutely has to be Disquarius in my mind. Zath, he held that gap. He was perfectly positioned to deal with that Burgonia and put some damage down on him as he moved down the 4 line and then able to move up, duel to Stalingrad, get some help from his friends, win, and then continue pushing up and claim another destroyer kill. Like, nice game.
Absolutely.
Nice game. We only had one sweep today, Zath. Only the one.
Only one.